Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out Season 2, Episode number 8 of ReZero. Very excited for this one because it's been a while since I've checked out an episode, sadly. I did make a post on the YouTube community tab. If you're watching this video when it goes live, that is. If you're watching this way after release, don't worry about this, of course. But I was feeling very just... like, I was fatigued, I was tired, I wasn't getting sleep, I was exhausted, and all I had been doing was editing and stuff like that, and it just kind of got to a point where I needed to take like just a day or two break. And so sadly that kind of came at the point where I would have been recording the next episode, this episode of ReZero, and editing it and getting it uploaded for you guys. So that did mean that there was only one episode last week, but I will be back to regular scheduling here. We'll be getting 2 episodes out this week, I hope, so long as nothing comes up. But yeah, we're going to get back to it. And yeah, things are in a very interesting place right now in ReZero. We've been freed by Otto. Otto is our best friend at this point. Like, we love Otto at this point. Otto I was very iffy on and wary of for a long time, but now he's pretty great. We love Otto. And yeah, Ram's here to help us too, so we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what comes of that. And something that I had to cut out of the previous episode was right at the beginning of that post-credit scene, we see Otto's ear like detecting noise. It's almost like bat-like. So I guess that's something he's very good at. He's very good at, being alert and being aware and knowing his surroundings and everything like that. So that's going to be very, very useful and very handy going forward. Even though technically we've got Ram here who can do that, but better with her, vision thing. I'm still excited to see just where that takes us and everything like that, and where we end up going from that post-credit scene. I wonder if things are going to go pretty good looking for a little bit here, or if things are going to immediately go off the rails and things are going to go down the shitter, because Garfiel was pissed. He went almost super beast mode on us. Well, not on us, but at the end of the episode when he saw that Subaru wasn't in his cell, he transformed his hand, and that shit looked insane. And it's making me think, if Frederica was half, like a quarter beast, what's a half beast gonna look like? That's gonna be scary, that's gonna be buff, that's gonna be very dangerous. So we'll get to see that hopefully in action this episode. I wonder if Emilia's gonna run into us, if there's gonna be anything with Roswaal. I hope there will be. Roswaal is like #1 character right now that I need Subaru to talk to. I need Subaru to get answers from, because holy shit, what is happening? I know that Beatrice is the most mysterious character right now, the one I want to know the most about, but Beatrice isn't giving us those answers, and so Roswaal right now is our only hope to get some of those. So yeah, we're going to dive into this one. Very, very excited. Season 2 has been an absolute treat and blast and just incredibly insane so far. We've had every kind of episode, and yeah, we're just gonna see where this road takes us going into the future here. But yeah, if you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a like. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing, and of course comment down below letting me know what you got up to this past weekend. And if you want to be notified when these ReZero videos go live and any other uploads that I do on the channel, please hit the bell notification down below and you'll be notified anytime a video goes live. And yeah, I'm going to stop my yap and I'm going to check this one out finally. Season 2, Episode 8. Let's go. Alright, I'm almost anxious to start this because it has been a bit and, there's so much uncertainty, but... ReZero. Let's just dive right into this. Here we go. Okay, we're kicking things off. Nice. Okay, yep, we're here to assist. So you were able to find Otto because of your ability. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. Smart. What are we planning? You're gonna complete the trials? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to complete the trials? I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Subaru, I mean, I'm really excited to see what the rest of the trials are through your perspective, but I'm nervous. Alright, here we go. Roswaal. Oh, the lights are off this time. We're doing it shady business time style. We're here to get straight down to business. We didn't even turn the lights on. If you have the answer, okay. Beatrice, ask. Yes, there it is. Are you a member of the witch cult, Roswaal? What are we panning down to? Are you gonna... Okay, I was half expecting to see a gospel. Are my enemy. Oh. Oh. Oh, what do you know about us and Beatrice? That the way he worded that she would become our enemy. Closely resembling. Interesting. She is a spirit. But wasn't the episode called Maiden's Gospel or something? What? Only... The Tome of Wisdom? Only 2 exist and she has one? The Gospel's Guidance. Defective? What? So that's like the true tome? And the rest are all pale imitations? Oh, there it is again. That's what Ram told us to say to her. What's the question though? What is the question? She is to ask us a question. Subaru is that person. Are you Pride? Is that the question? Are you Pride? That's what we've heard. Huh. She's contracted. But it's the only part that isn't bandaged up. Jeez. Ally with Beatrice. I'm sure she will. Our enemy. All of you. I'm not convinced. I am not convinced. And I love that Subaru is very cautious too. Yes, sure is. Please? We need your help. You were told to help us. Yep, those were your orders. And if that's what we ask of you, then you gotta do it. Patrasche! Oh my god. Oh. Patrasche. Holy shit, look at that. Oh. The Margritza? Okay, and we're leaving so it can stay safe and protected. Who leaked the plans? Okay. Ram. Yep, Ram talked him down. As soon as he starts talking again. What? Yeah, what does that mean? Oh, that means something bad. Oh.
伝説の商人方針が小国バナンを陥落させた逸話になぞらえた格言です。相手に徹底攻撃と降伏の二択を迫った時の
Oh shit.
バカすぎてラムの話の意味が通じなかったの。
Oh. Look at this animation on Garf right now. This looks sick. But like, this is intense. I'm surprised he's gonna fight with Ram here right now. He's stubborn. Yeah, what does he give a shit about? Yeah. The old hag. Does Roswaal care about you, Ram? Are you positive? Is he just using you? Holy shit. Let's go, Otto. Ram versus Garf. I was not expecting to see this. Yeah. Oh, what are we whistling? What? All these lights? They're leading the way, I presume? Oh, it's all... Oh, that's really sweet. They're helping lead us out. Oh, that's very nice. That's really nice. Oh, that's a beast transformation right there. Ooh, underground? Or was it just a shockwave? Is everyone okay? Actually? Holy shit. Look at the size of that thing. Jeez. Very tiger-like. Holy shit, it's massive. Garf, what is your deal? Did you kill Ram? Like, what happened? Garf is more than double the size of Frederica. Oh, everyone was hurt there. Jeez, yeah. Oh my god, no, don't kill Otto. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. Garf, what the hell? Oh my god, that's a reset. Yeah. Jeez. What is his deal? Like, just let us leave and then the issue's gone. Why do you have to just start killing everyone? Did you kill Ram? You've also killed Otto now. Are you gonna kill all these innocent people? Oh my god. This is brutal. Oh, Patrasche. Patrasche. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Alright, Garf is enemy number 1 right now. Screw that guy. Screw him. What was that shit? Literally killed everyone. New checkpoint? We didn't die. Oh no. We need a reset. We need a reset right now. Winter? Is this some Echidna bullshit? Are we inside Amelia's memories? What? So this can't be real. Is this real? Why do we get like the Dark Souls 1 opening? Like where we were just in a jail cell and then like we could just open the door? Yeah, this doesn't strike me as real. This is too strange. Holy shit, is that like Monty Python bunny? Is it evil? It's got a horn. That means it's Mabbies? Yep. Jeez. A goddamn bunny rabbit. Holy shit. And your leg? When did that happen? This is actually probably maybe worse. All these bunnies showing up. Why is this necessary right now? Where does this take us back to? What? Why were we there alone? Like, there's too many questions right now. Jesus, Subaru, I'm so sorry. This is awful. Wow. Yeah, that was terrible. That was really, really bad. Seeing everyone die like that. Being knocked out apparently for God knows how long. Waking up, nobody's there. Dying to a bunch of rabbits. Oh no, don't hit your head. Was that the second? That was the second trial? What? Was that the second trial?
前に飲んだお茶のおかげさ。それで君の怠惰の魔女因子に働きかけ、安定を促した。
Yep, your sloth witch
でなけ
factor.
れば君の心は砕け散っていたからね。
So when do we get to use unseen hand and everything? Because we got the sloth witch factor.
に戻っても続いてると思っていいか。精神状態の話だからね。ここで
Yeah,
のことを
your mental
覚え
state
て
is
いる限
broken.
りは大丈夫じゃないかな。ねえ、感謝は？制約を書き換える方法はないのか。外に出るとお前のことを忘れちまうっていう制約だよ。それがある限り俺の心はぶっ壊れかねない。
I love Subaru standing up to it right now. This is really.
対価が必要なら他に何でも
Whatever?
その代わりお前は俺の記憶に隠れるな。
Don't give her that much of a carte blanche. Carte blanche. You know what I'm trying to say.
そんな恥知らずな真似はしないよ。しないけど、君は少し卑怯だと思うな。
Morty.
僕の体液をそんなに一気に。それで感謝の言葉は？僕はまだ聞いてない気がするんだけど。クソみたいな茶入れてくれてありがとう。窓が。乙女心が傷つく感謝だな。
Maidenly heart bullshit.
お前どこまで俺の事情を知ってるんだ。
Yes.
知っていることなら知っている限りのことを。
You looked into our mind.
この世のすべてを知りたいと思っているね。お前にとっては俺とは前の茶会で別れたばっかりのはずだろう。妙に思わないとしたら、それは。
It's been premeditated, no?
お前がこうなった原因を知っている場合だけだ。
How you came to be in this world? Is that what it is? Or the whole thing with the witch?
試してみるといい。駅だな。俺は死に戻りをしている。
We said the thing. Did she leave? She didn't. She knows. The reason it works is because she knows. It didn't kill her because she knows. He's never been able to say that to someone before. Oh. And she's seen it in our memories.
死に戻り死に戻り死に戻り死に戻り。落ち着きなよ。君の気持ちはわかるけど。俺は死に戻りしてたんだ。何度も。
This has to be a lot for him to be able to say this. It's all. Jeez.
だから話を。俺は。
Yeah. Over and over and over and over in brutal, awful, terrible ways. To save yourself and the people you love. and care about. Yeah, it's brutal. Anytime you've tried in the past, it's... yeah. And it's normally a thing that you use as a last-ditch resort to draw attention and everything, like... ah, Subaru. This poor guy. I know. I don't know if she's someone we need doing this for us. Every step. Does she mean she's been watching this whole time, or all I've been doing? Or that she saw our memories? Because you want to know, right? Because you're just a curious girl. Yeah. I'm sorry, Subaru. I feel like you're being used right now. I don't think this is as sweet as it looks. The value of life with the red of right there and the credits rolling too. Wow. Yeah, that did have a very cinematic feel to it, but I feel confused more than when, was it episode 16, 15 of the first season when it played credits like this? That episode I was just, I don't know. This one I'm just very skeptical, yeah, that's saying it right? And honestly worried for Subaru. I feel like this right now is almost like enough for him to trust her as someone that he can depend on and someone that can comfort him. And I just don't know if I'm right there yet with him, that I feel like I can trust her. I feel like anything we've seen so far, yes, where Subaru's at right now and what we've seen, I think he's probably right to at least begin to trust her and be willing to have that conversation and talk about these things and all of that. But at the same time, I just have this feeling. It's just a gut feeling. It's nothing more than that right now. And that was episode number 8 of season 2. Oh man, oh brother. Like, how much more does this poor guy need to go through? This poor boy, like, I'm just kind of like at the point now where I'm just feeling constantly down because of everything that happens to Subaru here. It's I'm not like saying it again like as a bad thing against the series. I think it does everything incredibly well, but like, holy shit, it after a while it really does have a toll on your mental. Like, I know that one of the best things about the series is that despite all these overwhelmingly incredibly ridiculous odds that Subaru will never overcome this, that he keeps getting pushed down further and further and further. One of the best things about this is that in a very Groundhog Day-esque kind of fashion, he can spend the time that he is spending in the past to figure out what he needs to do in the future, and so that then by the time he is able to do it, he has this big grand plan and he's able to execute it perfectly because he knows the variables, he knows the situations, and he knows what could happen and how to avoid anything bad. Like, you know what I mean? He thinks things through and he's able to execute things perfectly, masterfully. And I know that we're going to get there eventually. We're going to get to that point, but geez, after this episode, like, my god, like, so the episode starts off with, you know, the whole thing with Otto, Ram, and Subaru. They're talking, they're discussing, you know, a lot of the same things that we saw at the end of the previous episode, also being discussed here again. I think that this is nice. A nice way to catch up for anyone who maybe missed the post-credit scene at the end of the last episode, but I imagine that would be more confusing than anything because we just jump straight into it. And yeah, like, Ram is obviously being like, you know, I've been ordered to do this by Roswaal, blah, 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 Roswaal, 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 blah, 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 blah. And, you know, she does throw a few snipey comments in there because this is Ram we're talking about. Of course, she has to, you know, say things and make fun of us and everything like that. And it's very humorous, it's very entertaining. But I just wondered sometimes if it's kind of like a defense mechanism for Ram. The fact that she so immediately mocks others, makes fun of others. Is she maybe a little more insecure than she would seem? Perhaps it's not super important right now because at the moment it doesn't look like the series is kind of veering into a Ram character development arc or anything like that. It kind of just looks like they're using her as a tool to further the story, and that's exactly what happens in this season so far. You know, with the whole Frederica and the mansion thing, and Ram being there, and then today with Garf. But Subaru does say something very curious during this conversation with Ram and Otto. He says that he is going to do what he was going to do 3 days ago, and all I can think of in that moment is that he's going to complete the trials in Amelia's place, because that's what he said he would do to Ryuza, I can't even remember her name, and Garf. So at that point it's like, okay, interesting, why would you do that? Why would you go to the sanctuary where Garf is watching over Amelia in order to complete this trial? And just, yeah, very, very strange, but curious at the same time. I'm just wondering at this point, like, what's he gonna do? What's he going to do? What's it going to take? And what can we actually do? And is this even possible? But then we get one of the most fascinating conversations in the series, at least to me anyway, so far this season. And that is when there are, you know, so many others that to contend with. Like, this is definitely up there anyway, competing, where Subaru goes into Roswaal's room. The first sign that things are a little off is the fact that lights are not on. So that makes this look very shady. This makes this look like this shouldn't be happening, like it's something that they're doing despite knowing that this is not for the best or something. Like, I don't know, it just gives it a very covert, very almost illegal kind of feel to it, where Subaru is in this room just speaking to Roswaal. And the fact that he essentially stands up to Roswaal several times in this conversation and doesn't back down, isn't scared of him, and speaks almost his mind, but he's also pretty wary of the things he's saying, even though sometimes he does blurt a couple of things out. Subaru, of course. He looked to be very much in control of this conversation right up until Roswaal started to speak about Beatrice, because at that point Subaru almost like reverted into himself and became more unsure and quiet. So like Subaru basically leads this whole conversation by saying, hey, you're gonna answer my question, right? And Roswaal's like, of course, I'll answer anything that I can, anything that I know the answer to, blah blah blah. Subaru does not hold back here. Subaru asks exactly what he wants to know, and that of course being whether Beatrice is in the witch cult. It's a very great question. It's a honestly perfect question to ask right here, because we could have asked anything about Beatrice, but this is, to Subaru, the most important thing. And while we as viewers might have maybe wanted him to ask something more in relation to the nature of Beatrice, something more literal about her character, for Subaru it's super important that he knows whether she's in the witch cult or not, because we know that that is a deal breaker for Subaru, as it should be, at least from what we've seen so far. For all I know, there's more to this all, and there's something that we don't quite know, but at least for now, this is super important, and this is the exact perfect question for him to ask. And we kind of do see that right after, because when Subaru explains that he saw a gospel by, like, she had a gospel, Roswaal's like, yes, that makes sense then why you would think that she is in the witch cult, but I assure you she is not. Subaru does then outright say that if she is in the witch cult, she is my enemy. And Roswaal does not take well to that. Roswaal is startled, and he even makes the comment that that would be very unfortunate and very, like a very bad thing, essentially, if she was to be Subaru's enemy. It's the way he words it, the way he carefully chooses his words here, that make me think he is basically setting Beatrice up to be placed with Subaru. Not in a romantic way or anything like that. I hope that's not how that came across. But that she would be of importance to Subaru. And this whole tome thing, this tome that, the Tome of Wisdom, I think he called it, the fact that he knows about it, and the fact that he knows that she follows everything in that, and that he has placed her here, and that she, you know, he's basically peppering her right now to go and seek out Subaru, go join him and everything like that, because he is coaching Subaru on what to say and how to respond, what to ask her and everything like that when we meet her again, in order to gain her trust. Like, okay, interesting. It makes me wonder then, I know I said while I was watching the episode, I was like, I wonder if the question is going to be if Subaru is Pride. And the reason I thought that is because he has been called Pride before by Betelgeuse, but it was me thinking about Betelgeuse that made me think that the question she's more likely to ask is whether we are Betelgeuse or not. Perhaps. Because Roswaal told us that our response to whatever she asks, when we tell her to ask the question, is to say that yes, we are. We are that person. And we know that Juice seems to be someone very important to Beatrice, because she was very saddened to learn of his passing. And she even made a comment, "You've left me behind too now." Obviously, time will tell. Time will give us the answers that we need. Learning more about this world, learning more about the characters, and everything like that, we're gonna learn. But for now, there is an uncertainty, and there is a question of what that question could be, because we heard this exact same question a few episodes back when Ram told us to ask Beatrice that same thing, or to tell Beatrice that same thing, to ask us the question. But so much other shit was going on that it makes sense Subaru forgot about that question, or that piece of information to tell her to ask us. But I didn't forget, because I've been wanting to hear that question, because I think that it's going to be very important and very, I don't know, like just something big, like a big reveal perhaps, or a big, maybe even lie, because we might be lying to her when she asks us the question. And I really love that scene where Subaru does, you know, say that Beatrice would be his enemy if she is in the witch cult. And Roswaal's eyes, you know, oh, I don't trust this man whatsoever. The way he like narrows his view and looks at us like under his eyelid, and it's like, that took a lot of resolve to say. He's a menace, and I don't trust him. I don't know. He is going to be trouble. He is trouble. And it's once then that whole thing happens where, you know, he says that he basically points out that he doesn't believe what Subaru is saying to be true, because he did say it with conviction. He built up the conviction, and he built himself up to say it. But it's the shakiness in his voice, it's the way he's holding himself, and it's the way he can't look at Roswaal as he says it. It's the way he's holding himself. It's everything else that makes Roswaal basically say that, yeah, I don't believe you. And then he does say, the idea that you and she would become enemies is truly awful. He's got big plans for Beatrice and Subaru. We just don't have a clue what those plans are. Okay, and forgive me, I am skimming through the episode now. I'm kind of clicking, trying to read like different lines of dialogue that they say. I don't actually see, correct me if I'm wrong, and please do tell me immediately in the comments, because I don't want to lead my theories with some bullshit that's not even true, but I'm not seeing here, I'll see it in the edit, I'm sure, but I'm not seeing here, as I'm clicking through, whether Roswaal definitively says that she is not a witch cultist. I simply see him basically be like, okay, let me give you some truth here. And he sprinkles some truth in to avoid answering the question, perhaps. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I'm seeing here anyway as I click through this, and that makes me more worried about the truth. And basically what Roswaal ends up saying here is that she did have something that resembled a gospel, but it wasn't a gospel. It was one of 2 tomes of wisdom. Only 2 of them exist in this world. And I'm wondering then, if Roswaal has the other, who has the other? It has to be someone important. And this true gospel, this true wisdom, it tells a literal perfect telling of the future. So let me bullshit theorize right now. This book, 2 of them exist. One of them exists with Beatrice, and the other exists with the person who wrote this thing. And who wrote this other than the one person we know who knows the past? Subaru. Did Subaru write this tome of wisdom? Did he write this tome of wisdom and somehow gift it to Beatrice in order to alter events, change events, and make certain things play out a certain way? Because Subaru knows how important Beatrice is. And does Roswaal know that too? Do other characters know the importance of Subaru in this world? Do other characters know that he will eventually be a very important figure that can effectively change the past and alter things to work a certain way, to go in a certain direction, depending on what he thinks will happen, what he knows will happen, and what could help him in the future, depending on things that he has seen happen in other pasts? Yeah, there's just a lot to unpack there. And honestly, right now, I feel pretty good about that theory. I think that theory has legs to stand on, besides a lot of my other bullshit theories. I think that that's actually probably a pretty good theory, that Subaru is affecting the past through this book. Because how else would this tell the future? How else? We only know one person that can tell the future. And it's not even that he can tell the future, it's that he knows what's to come. And he knows what's to come because he's relived it time and time again. And that leads into the end of this episode. I'm not going to jump ahead to the very end just yet. I'm going to spend more time talking about this right now. But yeah, I hadn't even thought about what I just talked about with, Subaru writing this book until just now. The cogs just started turning, and it made sense. It's almost like what I was talking about in episode or two ago, where I was saying that the pieces aren't all there yet. This mention of this being a true tome of wisdom, and with Beatrice having it and everything and not being a witch cultist, this almost seems to me like the missing puzzle piece that gives me the answers. Please don't tell me if I'm right or wrong. I really don't want to know if I'm right or wrong. That's part of the fun of theorizing for me, that there's, enough context and there's enough information that I can just come up with ideas. I think that that's really fun for me. That's some of my favorite stuff within this series and other series that I watch, and stuff that I've seen outside of the channel. Series that I've watched in the past: Attack on Titan, End of Evangelion, not even End of Evangelion, just Evangelion, One Piece, of course. I love to theorize, and that's my bread and butter, honestly. And that's why I'm loving this series so much, because this series gives me so much, but still takes away just enough that it keeps me thinking, keeps me begging for more, basically. And yeah, this whole idea of a tome that tells the future, very, very interesting. And of course, the mention that the other gospels, including the one that Betelgeuse had, being pale imitations and falsehoods, false books, false scriptures, whatever, tomes of the truth. That's exactly why Beatrice called it a gospel, because there is no name for these 2 books that are the closest there are to the tome of wisdom. So that insinuates that there's a true tome of wisdom, but in my head it just seems that this tome of wisdom is a legend. It's not real. It's simply this legend that there is this thing that tells the future, blah, blah, blah. But to me, the Tome of Wisdom is probably Subaru himself, and these books are his recordings of things that have happened. But the fact that the books, the other Gospels, are fake, it makes sense then why Subaru was able to write into it. And you know, he was able to write into it that Betelgeuse would die and everything like that. And yeah, that made sense. But also, is that a hint and a tease at the future? The fact that Subaru wrote in this book, I think the creator of this series was maybe telling us something. That's my thought anyway. I think that was just a little sprinkle, and I love that so much that you can go back to that moment and be like, holy shit, they were trying to tell us all along. Again, this could be complete bullshit. If it is complete bullshit, that's part of the fun of this, right? You know, just throwing out these crazy ideas and seeing what ends up being true. So Subaru is coached basically on how to make Beatrice an ally. It's very dodgy seeming the way Subaru is just, or not Subaru, the way Roswaal is basically just being like, yeah, if you say this and then you say this, she will ally with you because that's part of her contract. She has no other option but to do that. She's powerless. And I don't think Subaru likes that. He doesn't really argue with Roswaal here, but deep down in my heart, I don't think Subaru likes the idea of her being powerless. I think Subaru likes the idea of her having her own free choice and being able to be her own person. And I think that that's what is going to happen in the future with Beatrice. So then as Subaru's about to leave, he asks if Roswaal is our enemy, and Roswaal says, no, I am here to help all of you. I don't trust you, Roswaal. I don't trust you one bit. You are so suspicious alongside Echidna. The two of you I cannot trust whatsoever. And so we cut back then to Ram making little funny remarks about how Otto is half a man and they're struggling to think of a way that they could all travel together on one land dragon. And so before they can even come up with an actual idea, Garf shows up. Garf shows up and ruins literally everything. He's supposedly here to protect the sanctuary, but he ends up just being an asshole. Like, I don't see how what he did here services the sanctuary whatsoever. I really, truly, genuinely don't see that whatsoever here. And let me just say as well, the animation that they gave Garf's face here, the red effect around him and everything looked amazing. Everything was incredible looking. This is some of the best facial animation I've seen within ReZero for sure. And I think that it's very well placed here because Garf does need to come across as a little crazy and chaotic and, you know, not exactly eccentric, but almost eccentric, where, you know, it's almost like he's beyond reason and he simply is doing things for his own gain. He has this crazy bloodlust, but he does share that someone told him about this. So I wonder who that was, who was snitching on us, who was spying on us and everything like that. And yeah, Garf is not here to mess around. Ram almost seems like she's kind of able to make him step down for a second, but it's once Subaru opens his mouth that Garf pipes back up and he basically threatens to either kill Subaru, or his two options that he leaves Subaru are to surrender or to face an all-out attack. And we can see that what Garfield really wants here is an all-out attack. He's very clearly making that obvious because he's ready to just throw down with anyone who gets in his way here, and he is very, very scary. And yet Ram and Otto jump in front of Subaru to protect him here. I love seeing Otto not be cowardly and immediately jump into action. It was so fast. And yeah, I've been giving Otto shit right up until the last episode. I have not made a secret that I find him very cowardly, and I found him to be very, you know, I was very cautious of him, but now I'm very much on the side of, wow, this guy's actually great. He jumped in front of Garf for us twice, and once it ended up costing his life. But that didn't seem to matter because he just wanted to make sure he protected us. But Garf ends up saying, like, just because I like you, Ram, doesn't mean I won't twist your arm. And I can only assume he killed Ram during his rampage because we never saw Ram again. I do like the writing here where, you know, he says, I don't know what you are. So because I don't know what you are, speaking to Subaru, I cannot let you outside these walls. You know, true. Literally true. That's very, very good of you, Garf. The fact that you can smell the witch off of him and you don't want to let him out there because that could be dangerous for others. Like, that's a great thing. that is a great morality, I would say. But at the same time, his morality is dog shit because of what he ends up doing. And so basically Otto runs off with us and Ram stays back to fight Garf. And we get this really, really super sweet scene then where Otto calls upon the villagers to light the way out. Like, it's so perfect, it's adorable, it's so sweet, the fact that they're doing this for Subaru. They have so much respect and love and adoration and thanks to give Subaru, and so they want to help. But of course that ends up being the downfall. Otto didn't want to do this, and if Otto hadn't done this, they might have lived, perhaps, but he did. And I don't think he did a bad thing here. I don't think what he did was wrong. He was trying to get Subaru and himself out of there as quickly as possible, and this was the fastest way, where people were literally lighting the way out. But of course, what ends up happening, other than Big Dickhead showing up and wrecking the day, Big Dickhead Garf ends up showing up, and yeah, he probably killed Ram. We don't actually know, but he starts to, basically walk towards Subaru, and Subaru sees that Patrasche is damaged. Subaru sees that villagers are hurt, and he sees that Otto isn't looking the best either, I guess. And so Subaru says to Garfiel, hey, I'll do whatever you want. Just let everyone else be. Let everyone go. Leave them alive. Don't hurt them. Don't do anything to them. And he stands up and starts walking towards Garf. But that's when Otto jumps into action yet again. You complete idiot, he says, and shoves Subaru out of the way, which leads to his death because Garf was about to kill Subaru and Otto got in the way of that. The sacrifice that Otto just paid forward here is insane. I would never have seen Otto jumping in the way of this. That was super courageous from someone that I thought was super cowardly. And it's a heart-wrenching scene just seeing Otto go flying, someone that we meet our friend just the previous episode. And of course that's then when he starts killing every single villager in his way, and Patrasche ends up dragging us out of there to save our life and throwing us away out of there. And that's when he kills Patrasche as well. Like, this big dickhead killed every single character. Like, why? What was the reason? What was the need for it? It just pisses me off, honestly. And so we wake up back in the cell. And I thought when we woke up in the cell, I was like, oh shit, we got a new checkpoint while we're in this prison cell. But no, that is not the case. This is not a new checkpoint. This is actually Subaru waking up after a prolonged period of time, seeing the door is open and seeing that he's still hurt and damaged. And so that kind of indicates to you that time has passed, a lot of time perhaps. When he steps outside, he sees there's snow, which is very, very concerning because there was no sign of anything like that before we left. When we were there before, it literally looked like it was either spring or summertime. So Subaru, confused, he walks around looking for anyone that he can find, and he ends up just coming across this little bunny. But this bunny is a mabbeast because it's got a horn in its head, and he tries to reach out to pet the bunny, but the bunny goes full Monty Python mode on him and ends up biting off his arm, his finger, his leg, everything like that. And yeah, this bunny is not a good bunny. This bunny is evil. This bunny is pure evil, and it just wants to see Subaru suffer. But I wonder why it showed us this. It seemed so random, going to this whole snow place, seeing this scene with the rabbits and everything. Are the rabbits going to be important in the future? Is Subaru going to send an army of rabbits against anything or anyone who gets in their way in the future? Then we go forward to Subaru sadly being killed again, and that confirms to us that his checkpoint is still where it has been. And he wakes up next to Amelia, and this time, like, while I was watching this, I was like, wait, did he just pass trial too? Because Echidna did say you passed the trial, blah 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 blah. But now I'm thinking that this was actually probably in reference to the first trial, because he woke up, passed the first trial, and then heard these words from Echidna. So this is probably in reference to that. But why call us here now and not one of the future or the previous times? What makes this different? Subaru basically asks if he can remember Echidna once he leaves. He doesn't like this whole agreement that they have where he forgets when he leaves and everything like that. He wants to be able to remember. And Echidna is basically like, okay, I can do that for you, but in very like shy and like oh like kind of blushing kind of way. And so Subaru asks Echidna if she knows everything and anything and everything about him, but he's sadly not really able to get answers. But Echidna is like, yeah, I can do that for you, but everything just seems very strange. Like, you're gonna just do it, you're not gonna ask for something in return or anything like that. Subaru instead just starts crying and wailing and saying, I can return by death. I do return by death. I've returned by death many times. And it's heartbreaking. It's so sad that this is where he's at right now. He has been through so much and he is still strong. But in this moment, he begins to break down. He begins to cry. Something he has not done in a very long time. So I think that this is very, very greatly written here. I think that the writing is impeccable. And I just feel so bad for this guy. Subaru falls to his knees and begins to remember times where he died, Emilia died, people he cared about died. I wonder if his thinking of, if I get stronger, that means I can protect people. Like, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, he is very, very sad here, and rightfully so. It's a very frustratingly sad moment that he finally finds someone he can share this with, but it's a witch. And it's a witch that seemingly knows or knew a lot about him because she's been able to watch. And that's she says that's all she's done. She's just watched. But I don't really know what the extent to that watched is. Like, how long? Like, too many questions, right? And so Echidna hits us with this really motherly love almost, where she is willing to, you know, wipe away her tears and give us affection and positive reinforcement and everything like that. And yeah, Echidna, so ominous. The fact that she ends the episode like, that's me, Echidna. Like, nah, you're trouble. That's what you are. And yeah, I just wonder how this is going to play out, because I feel like Subaru might begin to trust her here and might begin to make her more privy to information, whereas I wouldn't trust her for a second. But yeah, the value of life, that was this episode. A really, really great one, and one that makes me more interested and curious and excited to see the next episode. So yeah, that's going to do it for me for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and comment down below letting me know what you got up to this weekend. And yeah, I hope that you're having a great day today and that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.